Okay, welcome back. I have a lot on the docket today, so I'm probably not going to waste too much time, but basically today what the plan is we are going to basically fill in this entire area with an automatic like rail supply area. Basically I'm going to have a bunch of farms scattered around the world, or maybe not around the world, just like kind of around the area. So we already have a tree farm over there, and then we have some things like in our base area, but hopefully we'll have more like in this mountain over here, some in this one over here, some in this one over here. But long story short is we're going to need some kind of network that will connect all of these farms so that we can supply the turtles with fuel, and we can, get the excess items out and moved into a different area, and a lot of things like that. So that's basically what this rail network is going to do. So the basic capabilities of it is there's going to be a place to load and unload liquids, because I'm going to have liquid coming in from the volcano and liquid going out to a quarry probably. I'm going to have an input and output for items so that excess items can be pumped into this area and fuel can be filled and sent to various farms. And then I'm going to have an input and output for power. An idea that I had, I don't know how practical this is going to be, but basically there's going to be a giant generator system here at the, at the rail station. And basically if any farm is running low on fuel, it will be able to request fuel, which will send, a bat box and a minecart over to that farm to give it a little bit of a surge in fuel just if it's running low. Again, I don't know how often that's actually going to be used, but it's cool nonetheless. And then just spots for empty chests and empty tanks to be sent. Just so it can, receive items without having to unload items first, because farms aren't always going to need to unload items whenever they need to fill up items. So if there's just an excess of items in one place and they need to dump it, they want to just request an empty chest and not a chest with fuel, because what is it going to do with fuel if it doesn't need it, So that's the basic idea for today. A lot has to get done. I've designed this system like 3 or 4 times in creative mode, but I think I've settled on some that I think is going to work, hopefully. We'll have to see when it gets up and running, but there's a lot of work to do, so I'm going to start off with making a ton of different kinds of rails that we're going to need. Alright, I'm in the middle of crafting all of the materials I need, but I just had to show this off because this is probably the most random crafting recipe I've ever seen in my entire life. What on earth is it supposed to be? And then look at the circuit crafting recipe, what is going on? How does this resemble this in any way? I guess you have the red and white, but I don't know, that's crazy. It's very not intuitive at all. Alright, there we go, the most confusing crafting recipe of all time. I think I'm gonna need quite a few of these. I might just... okay, I guess hopefully 10 will be enough. Alright, let's do this. Let's go ahead and put down the basic tracks. So I think there's going to be 5 stations. So I think this should be big enough to accommodate that. Whenever I first made this, it was actually to accommodate the old design that I was going to make. So I hope that this is going to be able to fit. I'll have 1 there, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, it looks like it fits pretty much perfectly in here, which is good. I'll just need to make a few more tracks, and then we'll be able to put the basic tracks in place, and then get more of the intricate mechanisms in place. But yeah, I think I'll keep it on this level. I think I could flatten this out and maybe make it a little bit easier for myself, but for the sake of being symmetrical, I think this will do. But basically the idea is this track on the left will be the track that I ride, and this one on the right will be the one that runs automatically. And that's just so I can, ride the track without having to worry about interrupting all the automatic stuff that's going on. I experimented with having, just this track is dedicated to going this way, and this one is dedicated to going this way, but then it made it a little bit complicated for if I wanted to ride the track, I would mess up the routing. So if resources were getting delivered to a certain farm and then I rode the track going to a different farm, then it would redirect the track that way, and it would deliver the resources to the wrong farm. And that's something that I really don't want to do. So this is the idea that I settled on, and I think it's going to work out pretty good. It just makes it a little bit more confusing and complicated to put in place. Okay, so I have the basic track set out. I haven't done any of the redstone yet. Actually, let me sleep because it's kind of dark in here. Give me a second. Alright, so we have the basic tracks laid out with all of the mechanisms. I haven't done any of the wiring or redstone or computer stuff yet, but this is basically how it's going to work. So there's going to be carts, and if they come in from this way, they will be redirected here. This track will actually go up and around and end up over here. So this is the main entry where all the carts will be coming from, and if they come from the other area, they'll just wrap around and basically just forced to come through this way. The carts will end up here where they will be unloaded of their liquids and their items. And then if it is an item cart, it will go here. If it is a tank cart, it will go here, power cart here, and then another item cart will go here, and another liquid cart will go here. And that's just because these are going to be for empty, sending out empty stuff. I kind of explained that a little bit earlier, and then this will just be whatever runoff there is, which should be nothing ever. So I'm probably just going to replace this with a normal track, and then I have a detector here, and basically if any cart ends up here, something went wrong, so I can have, you know, an alarm system or whatever to make sure nothing broke or anything. But that's the basic of how this is going to work. I need to actually put in all the wiring, and then I'll kind of explain how it's all going to work together and how it's actually going to function. But I am going to have to improvise a little bit because in my creative world, this went out about like 3 more blocks. So I'm going to basically have to move all the redstone to be underground instead of back behind these, which hopefully shouldn't be too hard, but we'll see. Alright, I actually finished up all the wiring down below, and it was a lot simpler than I was making it out to be. Building it underneath actually made it like a million times easier, so basically how the wiring works is if there is already a minecart right here, then it will not activate, and it will only activate if it is detected to be the right item, or I guess the right minecart. So these down here are detectors. This one is a storage detector, this is a tank detector, and this is a power detector. So the only way it will go down this track is if there is not already something here, and it is a storage minecart. And again, the wiring actually ended up being very easy down here. So yeah, that should be working fine. I'll need to test it, but I'm pretty confident that it'll work. And now I just need to do all the logic basically to load the carts and also to release them whenever they're needed. And for that, we're going to use Computercraft to have like a request system. So a farm will send a request to this central station here, and then it will send whatever is needed. So we'll need to parse some kind of output that comes from the farms, and then decompile that into like a redstone bundled cable system that will activate the necessary minecarts to go to that farm. So right now, whenever a cart comes in, it's going to get immediately loaded with items. And that's because really the only item that I foresee leaving from this area is coal for fuel for the turtles. If that ever changes in the future, I can pretty easily just swap this out and move this over here. But right now I just want to load it up as soon as it comes in, so that way when it gets requested it can just take off right from here and it doesn't have to like go here and then get loaded and then take off. It will save just a little bit of time, but if I ever need to send a different item somewhere, so say for instance I have like a recycling plant and I want to make this like 10 times more complicated and have the excess items come in here, dump their items, and they get pumped back into the loading station to then send it off to the recycling plant, I can do that, but I don't think I want to make this place that complicated. I think I'll just have the recycling plant somewhere nearby and then have the items pumped through pipes. This is mostly just for long distance travel, and I don't think I'll be sending any items long distance from the station other than fuel, but we'll see. And of course it is very easy to swap out and just move this over here if we need to do that in the future, but for now I think I'll just go with the faster option. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Okay, so we have our computer set up here, and we have a bundled cable that goes to all of these different areas. So basically the idea, farm will send a request to this computer, it will receive this computer, or this computer will receive the message, and then it will determine what items that farm needs based on what it sends over, and then based on that it will decide what color it needs to activate. So if it needs fuel, it'll activate red. If it needs liquid, it'll activate black. If it needs power, white. and then if it needs an empty chest, it'll do green, and if it needs an empty tank, it'll do blue. So I haven't written any of the logic to actually do that yet, but it shouldn't be too difficult, I don't think. And then, yeah. I think we'll have another computer or another monitor somewhere in this area, just because this is a really big area with literally nothing going on. And I think that'll be like the display monitor, which will basically just show if there's a request coming in, what it wants, and where it is going. And then also I'll probably have what destination the personal rail is going to, so that I can easily set that. I don't know how I plan on setting that destination myself. I'll probably just have it in a monitor somewhere. I might have to like interact with the terminal and select what I want to do, where I want to go. But for now, I'm just going to focus on getting this finished up. Basically, all that I have to do left is make sure that this wraps around over there, hook these up to, chests, liquid tanks, and power supplies, and then I should be good to just build the rail stations at each one of the farms. So I'll have one at my base because I have some farms under there, and then I'll have one over at the tree farm. And those shouldn't really need to be too complicated. All they really need is, what's good about it is each destination really only needs what that farm needs. So for example, this farm over here will only need an item unloader and an item loader. It's not going to be dealing with any liquids, and then I don't think I'm going to need a power unloader because this solar panel has worked fine this entire time. So I think for this one, all I need is an item loader and unloader. So if there's excess rubber, I can send it back, recycle it, and if the turtle needs more fuel, I can just unload fuel there and pump it directly into that chest. Now, one thing about this is I know it's a little bit not needed, because you can just have ender chests that have all the items and then just pump the items out of it. So I can just have one ender chest that has all of my fuel in it, and then each one of these farms can just have access to that ender chest and just pump it out really easily. But that's not as much fun. I want to try to use every single mod in this mod pack, and some mods kind of make other mods not really required, and I think that's one of those scenarios where if you have ender chests, you really don't need you don't need long distance item transport, because you can just pump it into an ender chest and pump it out of the ender chest wherever you want. So we're just going to ignore that and just pretend like that mod doesn't exist, because it allows me to build this, which is more fun and more interesting. So yeah, that's kind of why I'm doing all this. It's more about the experience and less about what's easiest or what's what's most convenient. It's about what's most fun. At least now I have this mine track built, so I can actually get to my rubber farm a little bit faster than walking. It's still not extremely fast. It's honestly probably not that much faster than walking, but it still is a little bit more convenient. So here is our rubber farm, and now I just need to build the rail station right here. Alright, just have a basic shell here for the train station. I think I'm just going to put a real quick glass roof on it, and then there should be plenty of space to have a track coming in for me, and then a track coming in for the automated system. So I'm just going to place in this roof here, and then we will be good to connect it up to the rail, and then place in the loaders and unloaders. And then after that, should be pretty much done with the station. The good thing is it's very easy to set up, so I don't have to spend too much time setting it up. That's one thing that I've been a bit wary of with the whole observability stuff, and then now this rail network, is basically I'm making it more difficult for myself to build farms, because now every time I build a farm I have to connect it to a rail track and also write a program to monitor it. So I'm kind of making it slower and slower to make progress, but I think it'll still be cool. And this is pretty simple to set up, so it shouldn't be too big of a hassle. I'm already done with the station. I built this entire thing in probably 5 minutes. Just need to maybe add some glass here, nice window, and then yeah, we're done. Just need to connect it up to this rail over here. I think for this I'm actually going to try to use these wireless receivers and wireless transmitters, which basically just allows you to send a redstone signal over distance without actually having wires. So basically whenever this farm wants to request an item, I will need to power a rail over there so that whenever this gets sent off, it actually gets directed to the right place. I could do that with computers also, just sending a rednet message over there, receiving it and outputting a redstone signal, which would honestly probably be not very difficult to do, but I figure, it's one less thing I have to write, and I've never used these before, and they seem to be pretty intuitive, so I think I'm going to try and use these and see how it works. They are a little bit more complicated, or not complicated, they're a little bit more difficult to craft just because you need an ender pearl, but I have enough, and it should be I don't know, a little bit more user-friendly and less time, and, I won't have to debug it, I guess. Like, I know it'll just work, so, that'll be nice. And I'm off fighting spiders again. I really need to get some kind of string farm set up. I am just kind of always low on string because you need it for so many things. All the item loaders and unloaders for Railcraft require dispensers, so I have to get a lot of string for that, and then also the bundled cables for, Redpower requires string too, so I need a lot of string, and I'm always out of it, so for now, this is what we gotta do. A string farm needs to be a bit higher on the priority list, but it's not the most exciting thing in the world, but who knows. I do know of some cave spider spawners and just some normal spider spawners that I could use, but a general purpose mob farm would also probably be good. And I mean, this is an older version of Minecraft, so I'm sure there's some like pretty simple one that you can set up just because the pathfinding of mobs is still kind of stupid, so I'm sure you can just like bait them to walk off a cliff into a death pit or something. Yo, spider jockey. Forgot about these guys, I haven't seen one in a long time. Used to always be a rare treat whenever you saw these in one of your world. Alright, I still need to build this track all the way back up to the station, but for now we're just going to pretend that this is done. So now I just need to have some of these switch tracks in here that will basically allow the rail to be redirected that way. Actually, I'm probably going to clear out some of these powered rails, just so I have some room to do this. And I'm just remembering that I'm going to actually need to go back and grab another type of track, but basically we will be able to redirect the track here. I think that should be lined up here. Yes, okay. So then we'll have this one here, and then this one should be here. And then whenever you have one of these guys, a switch motor, activated here, it will redirect this to go that way. So right now it is going straight, but then if we power it with a redstone signal, it will be redirected to the left. And there's like a slight change in the texture. It's not the most intuitive thing, but it dictates which way it's going to go. And then this one might actually need to have a little bit of an area that juts out here just to hold the switch track like this. Oops. And then this is what the wireless receiver is going to do. So whenever it gets a redstone signal that this farm needs items, it will receive it like this, and then it will give the redstone signal to the switches, which will make all of the rails redirect to this area. And I'm actually just now realizing that I'm going to need separate ones, one for me and then one for the automated system, because I do not want these to be dependent on each other. Yeah, I want the automated system to act independently of mine, so whenever this needs items requested, it will only activate this one, but whenever I want to go here, it will only activate this one. That way, whenever I ride a track, I don't unintentionally screw up and send the items going to the wrong place. So I'll actually need to make 2 more of these, but for now we'll just do the automated system, I think. I actually need more steel to make the tracks I need, so we'll go down here and we will make some more steel. I realized I haven't really visited down here since I built it, but here is where I have my coke ovens. And it looks like I actually have a bunch of coke in here, so that's nice. These coke can be used to power these blast furnaces to make steel, and they can also be used to power turtles, and they're a really good fuel source. So that's the main thing I really wanted for. But it's also nice to have to smelt this steel. So let's go ahead and make some more steel so that we can finish up these tracks. And I forgot to mention, a byproduct of making coal coke is this creosote oil, which is basically used to make these rail beds. So every time you want to make a track, you need this creosote oil, so that's also really important. I have a ton of it though. The most thing I'm concerned about is the coal coke, but it is nice that you get the creosote oil as a byproduct because you need it for pretty much every rail that you want to make in the game. Alright, I got the tracks that I needed, and it's actually just I need one of these cross sections. So basically it'll just allow tracks to go both ways, so I can travel along this way and then this can also travel along this way. There is a very small chance that this will cause a collision, like if I'm just so happen to be passing at the exact same time this is coming this way, that would be an issue, but that's a bit too unlikely to happen for me to really worry about it, I think. So for now I think I'm just going to hook up these tracks here to the station, and then I should be good to go. Alright, so we have that connected up, and the first thing we want to do is unload all the items that it comes in. So unload all the fuel, and then we want to have a boarding track on top of that, and this will basically just hold it in place until all the items are gone. And then we need to have another one here, and this will have the item loader. So if by any chance these chests fill up and I want to dispose of the excess, I'll just pipe it over into this item unloader, or this item loader, and then that will fill up the chest, and then it will just need to wrap around and go back up the way it came once it's done, which should be pretty easy, I think, to do. If I do this, then this needs to turn into it. Hopefully, maybe that's possible. Tracks are very annoying to work with. They never quite do what you want them to do. There we go. And then if I do that, and then hit it with a crowbar, it should change directions. There we go. Okay, so now it should come in, unload all its items, get all its items, and then come back through here, get redirected this way, and go back on its way. I think I can actually test this with this minecart. It should just pass through the loading and unloading stations because it doesn't have anything that needs to be loaded or unloaded. So if we send that, passes through there, gets redirected, and comes right back. Perfect. And then for this personal track, I really just need to have it end here, and then I can have a boarding track here that will just stop me right there, and then I can just have a lever or button or something. I can actually make a button. Make a button, and then have some kind of way to activate the track to go back. So let's just put a button here. And now, if I want to go, I just come in here, get on here, and then we go off. Back to the base. And I need to replace these with another redstone torch. So yeah, this part of it is quite simple. I just need to connect pipes to this fuel chest here, and then from the output chest here whenever it overflows, but I mean that's really easy. So I'll do that a little bit later. Might even just do it off camera because it's not really too exciting, but that's really all that's needed for this loading station. So it is very easy to set up. Not anything that should, you know, turn me off from building farms or anything. So yeah, quick and easy. Alright, I think the next thing I need to do is actually set up the computer program that will control this area, and then also control the switch tracks over there, and then also control this one-way track. I kind of never really explained this, but since this one track is going both ways, if it needs to go to a farm over here, this will just stay deactivated, but if it needs to go to a farm over that way, so say for instance the volcano to go and get some lava, then this will activate, which will send the track this way, and it'll skip over all these and then head to the volcano. Alright, back here at the station, I have some of these cables hooked up. I'll explain what these do in a little bit because I'm still working on it. Not quite functional yet, but I think I'm going to show off, hopefully, this working. So we're going to throw in our first chest cart, and then this should get sorted into the first area. Okay, and then we're going to throw in a tank. and then an MFE, and then another chest, and another tank, and they all get sorted into their respective areas. So it looks like with these I might need to... Looks like it gets held here until this gets full. Maybe if I just do that? Okay, cool. If I do that, then it goes, and then I think this might be facing the wrong direction. I think the cart might have to be on this side maybe. But that should be pretty easy to fix, and also, you know, I don't have this connected to any power yet, so it's not going to do anything for a while, but that's the basics of what this is going to look like. All of the carts are going to be stored here, and then whenever this receives a request, it'll turn on the correct color, which will send the carts that that particular farm needs. And another thing that you'll notice is this cable came on. This wire turns on whenever all of the carts are in their place. So either in this area or this area. So basically this means it's ready to go. So if all of the carts are back in their original locations, that means it's ready to take a request, and it can send the carts off whenever one is received. And that's just to make sure that it doesn't execute a request whenever there's already one being, you know, satisfied. Sounds weird, but I don't know what other word to use, but yeah, just to make sure that another request doesn't come in while another one is already in progress, and then it messes up the routing, and then that farm might not get what it needs. So, yeah, that's the system so far. Still need to figure out sending the redstone signal to the actual junctions at the farms. So what I think I'm going to do is send an output out this side, and this will go down and be color-coded, so depending on the color, you know, a white one will go into one of these guys, and then this will be on the same frequency as the receiver all the way over there. So if I output white, it will turn this on, which will turn on the, you know, the receiver over on the junction, so the cart will actually go to the rubber farm. So I just need to color code every farm and make sure that it's hooked up to a receiver with a unique frequency, so that the cart will get routed to the right place. Alright, so I have this receiving frequency set to 1, and I have the transmitter. Oh wait, this is a receiver. Do I have those mixed up? Wireless receiver frequency, or is that just the receiver that's going to be... Oh my gosh, that's a receiver. Okay, I have the transmitters and receivers on the wrong ends, which is great. Alright, now I got the receiver in the right place, and it is set to 1, and then I'm just going to put the transmitter over where you already saw and hook it up to 1. I guess now all I have to do is hook up the farm to the station through this track here. It's going to take a lot more tracks, but, you know, I already got this part done, which I guess is good. And then it'll be ready for a test. I already have all of the code part written, so hopefully that works. Haven't tested it, but... you know, not testing anything always works out great for everyone, so I'm sure it'll be okay. Okay, let's go ahead and grab some steel, make some rails, make some wooden ties, make some stone rail beds, realize that we have no more wood, laser down some trees, put out some fires, make more of these rail beds, make some normal rails, make some advanced rails, and make some powered rails. And the track is now finally complete. Okay, I think everything is finally ready and in place to do a first trial run. All I'm going to do is go over to the tree farm, and I'm going to restart the computer since I've updated the script that runs on startup, and then we'll see, hopefully, we should get a chest minecart coming down this rail. And yeah, it's going to be delivering nothing because it's just a test run, and then we should see it go all the way back, and yeah, let's see. Okay. We're here at the tree farm, and everything appears to be working correctly. So now I'm going to remove some of the fuel from this chest, and we should see that if we go over here... Oh, okay. God, I hate Lewis so much. Okay, hopefully this will work. You know, I've spent the better part of the last hour trying to figure out why this computer wasn't getting any of the messages I was sending, but I forgot to put a modem on it. So that's always fun. Okay, now hopefully this should work now that I actually have the modem on it. Okay, now we should be able to see a full test. So it's coming in here, drop off whatever it has, and now it should be getting loaded up with fuel because I actually put some in there. Now it has a stack of fuel ready to be sent over. And I'm actually going to go over to the farm because I want to beat this so I can actually show what it does. But here in a second that should get activated to come on down. Yep, here it comes. Should be able to get there ahead of it. Once we get to the tree farm. Okay, here it comes. It stops there and unloads all the items. It won't stop there because there's no items to unload, and then it will head back. And when it heads back, it goes up on that rail up there, drops down, and gets placed back in the original location, and then this light will turn back on, indicating that we are ready to process another request. And as we can see, the fuel is actually coming in through the pipes. So we have successfully refueled this rubber farm, turtles, without actually having to do anything. So it's pretty nice. I think the last thing I'm going to do today is build the train station for my base. I don't think I'm going to hook up all the pipes and everything yet, just because that's probably going to be a lot of work, because I have to bring the pipe all the way down there to refuel the turtle, but I just want to have something mostly just for me, so I can just get on the train in my base and quickly get around. So I think I'm going to do that and then probably call it a day. Alright, I made it one block higher than the floor here, just for visual interest, I guess. But that's about where the visual interest ends. Oh wait, actually let me turn that sound off, it's annoying. Yeah, from the outside it's maybe not the prettiest in the world, but I don't really know how to make it more pretty. I mean, it's pretty basic. I tried to like maybe take a corner off here. Maybe I could make it like kind of dome shaped or something. Yeah, sure. That's good. Okay. So I think all we need to do is add a few carts here. I think I'm going to have a window here just because it's a good view, as always. Yeah, so just going to add a personal track that will be accessible right through my base here. And then over here we will have the, I think all I need here is an unloading track, because I don't think I'm going to be sending anything from my base to the train station as of yet. Well, actually, maybe I will, because, yeah, I think I actually will, because I have a bunch of excess stuff over there, a bunch of seeds that are coming from the wheat farm, and I might want to send them back to the station, because that's where we're going to have a recycling plant sometime in the future to get rid of all of our junk. But for now, I'm just going to build just the basics. I'm not going to hook up any pipes or anything yet, just so I can get to the train station like 5 seconds faster than just walking. Actually, probably not even that, probably like 1 second faster, but you know, it's easy enough to set up. Alright, the area is all finished. It's a bit cozy in here, but it's enough room to make everything work. So right here I have the departure rail, which will always send me back to the station here. And then from here I can push the button to go wherever I want. I have not hooked this up to a wireless redstone thing yet, just because I don't have any more ender pearls, and I think that'll probably have to wait to a later time. And then I have the setup here for an unloader and loader, so whenever an automated cart comes in, again I have it all set up, but just need the wireless redstone thing. It'll come in here, unload all of its items here, get turned around, load up whatever items it has here, and then continue on its way back to the station. So yeah, next time I think I'm just going to have to get more materials to make the wireless redstone stuff, and then probably just write a computer program that will allow me to select where I want to go. So that'll go somewhere in here, probably in this massive unused area here. There'll be some kind of computer that will allow you to select your destination if you are a writer, so me, basically. So if I want to go to my base or the tree farm, I can go to the computer, select where I want to go. I'll probably move this from just the doorway to be a little fancier, but I'll be able to select where I want to go and then push this button to get sent off. Because right now I just always get sent to the rubber farm. But yeah, I think that's all I'm going to do for today. I'm pretty happy with what we got done. Got a lot of work here done, got this entire rail station set up, which is pretty big, honestly. Took a long time to plan out, so it's really nice to actually see it here in the world and see it in action and working, so I'm really excited about that. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I mean, I've been like drawing plans in like a notebook at work for like the past like 2 weeks, but yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. It'll be nice to not have to refuel all the all the farms manually and to have a good like foundation for building more farms. So like the tanks we're not going to use for now, but it'll be nice to have in the future whenever we do build farms that need liquid fuel or that need to empty their liquids. It's just a nice setup for the future, which is good to know, good to have. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I would say this is probably the most time I've spent off camera just planning, so hopefully it paid off and everyone enjoys it. But if you have any suggestions for this system, let me know. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time.